You know what separates a good business from a great business? It's not the product, it's not the location, it's not even the money. It's whether you're building employees or you're building leaders. And I'm going to tell you right now, most of you are doing it wrong. I'm Andy Dunning. I have built and sold multiple 8-figure businesses, and today I'm going to show you exactly how to turn your employees into leaders that will scale your company while you're asleep. Look, I've learned this the hard way. When I sold my first auction for 8 figures, I thought I had it all figured out. But when it came back to the business in 2018, I realized I wasn't just the face of the company anymore. I was the leader. And there's a massive difference between being the guy who sells and being the guy who builds other people to win in a company. Here's what nobody tells you about growing a business. In my first company, I had my brother handling operations. I had my dad handling the finances and me out in front doing sales. I thought I was the leadership, and I was completely wrong. When I bought back into the auction business, I had to do it all. And that's when I realized I wasn't building leaders, I was building dependents. See, every decision came down to me. Every problem landed on my desk. I was bottlenecked. I bottlenecked my own company. When I bought back into the auction business, I had to do it all. And that's when I realized I wasn't building leaders, I was building dependents within my own company. Every decision came down to me. Every problem landed on my desk. I was the bottleneck in my own company. You see, there's a difference between managing people and leading people. Management isn't about control. Leadership is about growth. Management says, do this. Leadership says, here's why we're going to do this, and here's how it impacts our mission, and here's how you can make it better within your company. See, at the end of the day, nobody wants to work for a boss. Everybody wants to work for a mentor. Now we're going to go into the 5 pillars of turning employees into leaders. First pillar is start giving people the task and start giving them ownership in it. When someone comes to you with a problem, I don't solve it for them. I tell them, I don't care what the problem is. You may not know how to solve it, but let's come up with it, multiple solutions, and we'll do it together. Tell me what you think the best one is, and then I'll tell you whether you're wrong or you're right. This does 2 things. 1, it forces them to think like an owner, not an employee. 2, it builds confidence in decision making. Sometimes I'll even tell them, go this route, even though I'm not 100% sure, because I'd rather them be creative and take a calculated risk than just be mentally lazy. 2, invest in their growth. This is the second pillar, and that's investing in the growth like your business depends on it, because it really does. My management team, 8 to 10 people that directly report to me, read a book once a month. This is not optional, non-negotiable, it's required. They give me a 1-page book report, and then we have a meeting about what they learned from what they've read and how we're going to apply it. You know what this does? It gets them thinking at a higher level. It exposes them to new ideas that they would never have been encountered before at any other time in business. Just this past weekend, I brought 10 of my direct reports to the Andy Elliott event with David Goggins. Why? Because I needed them to have this shift in their mindset. They needed to match where I'm at. You can't change people, but you can bring them to life-changing events. The third pillar, and this is a crucial one, you've got to clone your mindset, not your methods. I'm not trying to make versions of me. I'm trying to make these 10 people think like owners. When my team was doing a case study at the event, they were split 50-50 on one of the decisions. You know what I told them? When we get home, we're going to do this exact same case study. You need to be aligned with where we're going with this company. But if you have a better reason for why we need to do it differently, we're going that direction. I'm humble enough to say your way is better than mine because I need them to be empowered in making decisions. That's leadership. That's how you build people who can run your company when you're not there. Fourth pillar, teach them that problems are opportunities, not obstacles. In my business, we're constantly floating millions of dollars. I've got a guy that sells 200 cars with me in a week. That's $4 million that I'm floating until he brings me the titles. When my dad comes in and tells me, he says, son, we're feeling a pinch right now, I don't panic. I just dust off, I focus at what's going on right now downrange. I tell them the same thing. We just got to ramp up the collection. Let's execute the process we have in place. Your people are watching you. They handle your pressure. If you freak out, they will freak out. That's why I say, stay focused on the solutions. They'll learn the same thing you do. Your people are watching how you handle pressure. If you freak out, they're gonna freak out. If you stay focused and calm and handle the solution, they're gonna learn to do it the exact same way. Pillar 5. Give them a vision that is bigger than their paycheck. My team knows we're not just running auctions, we're building the biggest auction network in Texas. We're changing the entire industry. When they see me working 80 hours a week, they don't see workaholic. They see someone who is absolutely obsessed with the vision I have. And that obsession, man, it's contagious. You know what gets me excited now? It's not the money. It's watching my team grow into leaders. It's seeing them make decisions I would have made. It's watching them solve problems I never even knew existed. All right, now we're gonna get into the real test of leadership. Here's how you know you've succeeded in building leaders. When you can step away from your business and it gets better, not worse. I'm 54 years old. I'm not doing this for another 20 years. My goal is to build my company to a level where somebody within the organization can run it without me having to deal with the day-to-day operations. But here's what most people get wrong about leadership development. They think it's about being nice. It's not. It's about being real. I tell my people straight up, if you're looking for a work-life balance, this isn't for you. If you're not willing to do 80 hours a week, you're part-time. That sounds harsh, but I'd rather have 5 people who are committed all in than 50 people who are just half committed. You surround yourself with people who are like-minded. You back away from the people who don't share your vision. It's not personal, it's business. The compound effect of leadership. Here's what happens when you build real leaders. They start building leaders too. It compounds. They put leadership into the people under them. One of my guys showed me a video from a networking event. He was talking to people he hadn't even met yet. That's like when I'm sitting back and I'm like, they're doing something right now. See, when you build leaders, you're not just building your business, you're building people who will go out and build other businesses. You're creating a legacy that goes so far beyond your company. I didn't have a mentor like I have now. When I was starting out, if I had had someone like Patrick Bet-David or Andy Elliott when I was 24, I can promise you, we would be sitting in a whole different place at 54. And the world would be so much different for me. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm sharing what I've learned, because the game just isn't about building successful businesses now. It's about building successful people. Look, if you want to build a business that scales without you, you got to stop trying to be the hero of every story and start being the mentor who creates the heroes. Start with one person on your team. Give them ownership in something that is real. Invest in their growth. Teach them to think like an owner, not like an employee. And remember, discipline, consistency, hard work, never quitting. Those aren't just business principles. Those are true leadership principles. If this helped you, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to share everything I've learned with you from 35 years in the trenches, because I'm not here to impress. I'm here to equip you with the right tools to be successful. So stay consistent, stay successful, and let's build some leaders.